And then that fireworks place again. And we bought fireworks. That's beautiful.
Five 5:35, I'd like to call the meeting to order. If you could join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, nothing under proclamation, so moving on to the consent agenda. Brad, anything you need to say about that?
Anything bad?
Would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? If not, Don?
All in favor?
No.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Nothing under public comments, petitions, or memorials. So moving on to old business. Brad, if you'd like to do number 1, employee assistance program discussion.
Yes, at the last meeting we had, there was a proposal from Lucent for an employee assistance program. We did want to check to see if adding firefighters, like the volunteers for this, would affect the cost. It came back that it did not. I know, and so the proposal is still for $3,500, and that's 3 sessions from. That would be 3 sessions for employees. If they use it, the $3,500 is just 1 fee per year. And so that's kind of where that came back as. And at this time, I'm just open to any questions or comments that people may have.
This is a 2-year agreement. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
But it's $3,500 a year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even if they don't use it.
Even if they don't use it.
I talked to you about it, that I don't feel that the program's just not a very good program, and it's hard to find people that'll take that insurance. It only typically pays out half of what the provider's getting. So it's, in my opinion, we need to do something else.
What do you mean? What will it cost the employee? I mean,
The insurance will only cover basically half of what the provider will get. And so a lot of providers will not take this program because they're going to be working for half as much. And so
I guess I was thinking of something different. I mean, when I was at the local, we had an employee assistance program, and all it was, and we pay roughly, I think, like $1 employee per month, and they could use it to get maybe, I think, 3 mental health visits if they needed that. I mean, so it was all online. There wasn't, if they needed to go further, then they had to go find it. They had to find a different provider. They had to go through their insurance. So I don't know if that's different than what this is.
The only thing that I'm reading in the proposal itself is that they have a nationwide network of 11,000 that they contract through. And so I believe it would be, what this would be is using their network of providers. A lot of this would be online televideo type things, if needed. And if it's going to be something else, then we would have to do something different. But it'd be using their network.
So the employee would be paying for it.
They would not be paying for it as long as it's inside their network. That's what their service would provide.
And there's only so many. Is it same as the one I'm aware of? There's only so many visits that you get.
Yes, 3 per employee. That's correct.
Yeah. So I don't. So if it's that, I don't see that if it's not costing the employee anything, this just gives them a chance if they want to. And you're right. I mean, I know a ton of people who used it within the local, but there still were some who did. And so, I would say it's worth trying. I mean, I wish it wasn't 2 years. It'd be nice if it were a year. But
I mean, for $7,000, I believe that we'd be better off splitting the money and putting it into their HSA or something like that, and then at least if they don't use it, it's not just gone, because basically, I mean, if we have 36 employees, everybody has to use this every year. Or no, they wouldn't, it would be 12. 12 people would have to use it and use all 3 sessions for this to make it worth the money that we're spending. And basically, you're only getting a service of, like, say, $75 versus if someone has a therapist here in town that they would like to go see, then they can continue to see that person if they're already seeing that. So, I mean, that would be my opinion. I would rather see it go to people's HSA or something and say, hey, we'll front load you or something for the next year or two, instead of just giving this provider $3,500 a year.
Mhm. Do we know if this is accepted, the local mental health agency?
I do not know that.
to me, it was the fact that it's anonymous. That there are employees who could use it and not worry about if anybody in town's gonna know. I mean, if there's any shame in it, but there are some people who don't want people to know. That's one thing that's nice about this. It's completely anonymous. I don't know. I guess I'm not opposed to trying it, but it's just, like Brian said, it's just my opinion, so.
Can we find out if it's covered here in town?
I can find out more about their network, yes.
To my understanding, it will, but providers won't typically take it because the payout is so cheap.
It only pays for 3 visits. After that, it's on the employee.
That's correct.
But that's when their health insurance would,
It's not covered under their health insurance. I looked under the Blue Cross Blue Shield policy that there's no mental health, there's no substance abuse, there's nothing like that that's covered. Am I right?
It depends, I would have to look at each policy itself, but I mean.
The one that we were kind of leaning to, was it the D?
Yeah, option D.
Right, I didn't see anything about mental health, substance abuse. So that would be an out-of-pocket expense for them regardless.
so if you look at it that way, then at least there's 3 visits they could get free,
Mhm.
if you look at it that way.
It's not free, we're paying for it.
Well,
I mean,
it's just employee.
yeah, that's why I say if you just front load everybody's HSA and say, here you go, we're gonna give you 3 visits or something.
The problem with the HSA part of it though is that while some employees are take the option D, which is an HSA eligible plan, those who do not take option D do not have HSAs. No, we can't contribute to them because we don't have we have to have an associated health plan that's associated with that
It has to be a
HSA.
high deductible HSA, so.
Yeah. So if somebody's taking one of those other tiers, then we can't do anything with an HSA on there.
And so that also goes back to if they're taking the high deductible plan, they're probably maxing their deductible. And so then at that point, it would be paid for because their deductible is met.
I'm trying to
That's
pull up the proposals from Blue Cross Blue Shield to see exactly what is covered.
typically it'll cover it if you're once it goes towards your deductible. So if you're seeing somebody, then it'll go towards your deductible. And then once your deductible is met, then your insurance can cover it up or pick it up after that.
Yeah, looking at the Plan D, which is the one, or D, basically, it's the only one that doesn't have a copay. It's subject to deductible on their health insurance if we go with that particular plan.
In which I believe that most employees do have Plan D. I know that is one of them that a lot of employees did choose to have because that's one that the city will cover. I know that there are some employees that have some of the other tiers, but
Okay. There's the other tiers, they have a $25 copay. but that particular one is subject to deductibles, so they'd have to pay fully out of pocket until they reach their deductible.
Here's.
Yes.
I don't suppose we've gotten any comments or feedback at all from any of our employees that express interest in this kind of thing, or probably not, but
We have it. I know that I've had a lot of feedback from employees. I mean, I think that, sometimes there can be barriers to people coming and talking to me about those types of things.
I understand.
But I haven't had any direct feedback, I guess is a good way to put it.
Like I said, just based on my experience, I know that it was utilized. I mean, not as much as we would probably like, but people probably wouldn't go without the anonymity of it. So,
Well, anytime you go to a mental health agency, it's an anonymous visit.
It's,
I mean,
it's illegal.
yes, I absolutely realize that there's HIPAA and all that, but there's also reality. And there's also the,
This isn't an online, these 3 visits isn't online, it's going physically
I
to.
thought it was,
I think that most of this will be handled televideo.
Oh, okay, I
Yes.
misunderstood that,
Mhm.
okay.
I mean, and after 3, if you're wanting more, then yes, you're probably.
Okay, now I understand.
Well, I like the idea of offering the program. And I understand what Brian's saying about the money, but I don't know what the going rate is for therapy around town, but unfortunately, we'd be locked in for 2 years on that, so I don't
And
know.
I think it'd be great if it was utilized.
Yeah. And we won't know, because like Brad said, nobody's gonna come up and say, yeah, no, to do that. I mean, there might be a few. And I know that we'll never know who uses it. You just know that, I mean, at least with the one that we went through, you just got numbers that 5 people used it this month. That was it.
Will we get numbers back on this?
I do not know that. I did not ask that question directly.
I don't typically, people are gonna see someone more than 3 visits, and so. I mean, I think that it's, if you need assistance, you're best to find a local professional and do it right. And I don't want to say this is wrong, but I'm just saying, I think it's better to find somebody that you're compatible with and figure it out, because 3 sessions is just typically not going to be enough.
And that is something that we could do as well. And so I know in my recommendation, I had said that, we can take this from Lucent to help them implement this offer. But I would really like us to draft some kind of a policy on this. And then after that, it can be handled on a case by case basis. If these things come up, I know we have offered this in the past and we have done this on a case by case basis. But I would just like to say that we have a solid policy that sets a limit on how many visits that we will cover and things like that. But if we want to go that route, I mean, that is also an option.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem of just making some type of policy saying that, we can cover 3 visits for somebody. I think you're better off. You're giving more of what your money is worth per se than just giving these people $7,000. If we want to have a policy where, hey, we'll cover three visits if you've got something that you need, and we can do that.
And you realize it's more than just mental health as well. I mean, identity theft, legal resources, financial resources, life coaching. I mean, is there any way we could only do a year? Or does it have to be 2 years?
The proposal they gave us was 2 years. I don't know the reasoning behind that at all.
I mean, insurance keeps going up every year and we can only do so much. And so I just hate to keep adding to it. But, and especially if we're not, I myself feel better about writing a check and physically getting something than writing a check for $7,000 and then no one using it. You know, if everybody uses it, great, but I think that that's gonna be a lot of, people are gonna have to use it a lot to get our money's worth.
I wouldn't mind the city having a program, but then I don't know how you keep it anonymous, and you're gonna have to, you know, if somebody comes in and say, I'm a drug addict and I need some help. Is that gonna?
That's why I'm saying if you front load someone's HSA a little bit, and I do realize maybe not everybody has they do have the lower deductible plan, but that's why I'm saying that, you know, if you're taking the $500 deductible, your insurance is gonna pick it up from there. So the burden on our employees are probably gonna be a lot less. And, you know, if somebody's got the low deductible plan and they're on whatever they have the high deductible plan, if they have 2 or 3 sessions, it's gonna go to their deductible and then it's all gonna be covered from there anyways. So,
Yeah.
I mean, is it 100% fair? I can't say that, but, I mean, I think we're covering all the bases at that point that, hey, everybody has access to this.
I think that a reimbursement type thing is something that we could look at. I know that, I think the mayor had mentioned this, but one of the good things about this is the anonymity of it. Of course, you know, when it comes to anything health related, mental health, you know, there's always, you know, HIPAA laws always, you know, go into that. We're used to dealing with those types of things in the office, but I can see how that could also be, you know, people don't want, maybe not necessarily want people knowing about those types of things. And so one of the greatest benefits of this program was that it was anonymous. But I believe that we could try to think about this and see if there's ways that we could still achieve that and maintain that.
Maybe you could check to see if we could do a year
Mhm.
program with this company.
I can do that, yes.
I would be much more comfortable with a year. Just to see, and then if it's utilized, then absolutely we continue it on, but
We won't even know if it's utilized though, right?
yes.
We will get numbers, just raw numbers like 5 people utilize this. I believe.
And at least the one that we used, they didn't even tell you what it was for. They just said that they would say that it was utilized. So you wouldn't know if it was for legal or for counseling or for whatever, you just knew that it was used. But different company, so who knows?
I'd be better with 1 year than a 2 year. I
I
was,
think our
See if it
insurance
works.
are just over the top as it is. We're able to provide the insurance that we do along with family benefits. I just think that I probably wouldn't go for this.
Well, we can at least check and see.
Okay. I'll do that.
So do we need a motion to table it?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion to table a discussion of the employee assistance program until the next meeting, which is December something or other. I don't know what. December 8th.
I'll second.
Been moving second to table the employee assistance program discussion. Any further discussion? If not, done.
All in favor?
Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to item 2, airport hangar lease.
Yeah, so the airport hangar lease I did get today this afternoon. It is in front of all of you. This is a 50-year lease. The terms of that lease are $500 or $600 a year. There is a clause in there for that he is allowed to sublease this. They had also asked for assignment of the lease in case they decide to in case they decide to withdraw before 50 years, if they can sign that lease to somebody else, we put that in the lease that in order for them to do that, they would have to have commission approval to do that. So they can't just assign this lease to somebody else and they take it over and things like that. That would require commission approval. I mean, really our biggest benefit here is a renovation of those hangars and making those hangars usable. And so the $600 a year isn't that much. That is based off of our current rates that we have now for one hangar. And so that's how I came up with that number. I did give this to the leasee in order for them to look at this and make sure that they're okay with this. I was told that they were fine with this lease, and so that's the reason I brought it before you tonight. I don't think any questions about it though.
I'm not in favor of 50 years. Way too much can change in that time. Most hangar leases are 5 to 10. I understand that this is a different circumstance, but I mean, I think 20 years is a long time for a city to, I mean, a lot can change in 20 years is what I'm saying, and 50 years is, I mean, that's a long time. I would say 20 years is probably a really long time for a hangar lease.
I mean, he's gonna be putting a decent amount of money into this. Or, and if you did 20 years, would it be with an option to renew? Or are you just saying 20 years, thank you for the renovation, see ya?
Yeah, I mean, that would be at the time, I mean, we would have to go by what's going on in 20 years. I mean, it's hard telling what could happen out there in 20 years. It's just a really long time, and
I'd have to agree with Brian. I think 50 years is way too long. I'd be more apt to go for 20, 25. Cut that in half.
I mean, he's probably not gonna still be in business in 20, we know not in 50 years.
I'm not gonna be here in 20.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
But that's just a really long time. 20, 25 years, I think, is probably more than fair. Cause again, most hangar leases are for 5 to 10. And I've seen people that are building hangars that are millions of dollars and they're not getting 50-year leases. They're getting 10, 15-year leases. So it's just.
But like the mayor said, this guy's gonna be pumping a bunch of money in there to fix this place up, so I don't know what he's thinking his recovery will be on what he's thinking about spending on that, but I guess we could propose that 20, 25 years and see what.
I think 25 years would be okay.
Would you want 25 years with an option to renew?
Yeah, I mean, they always have an option to
Yeah.
renew, right? But
Well, I mean, so then in a sense, he's getting the same thing then but we have a little bit more freedom.
well, it's an option to renew, but the rate might be different or
Right.
something. I mean, it comes before the commission and then they renew a contract at that point. I mean, we could always say, he's got the first one to try to, the first rights of redemption or whatever the word would be for it, but
I would think he would want that in there.
yeah,
Because then-
and that's fine. We don't want to we're not going to try to do anything, out from underneath them or anything, but that's just a long time.
And like I said, I think the only reason that we were even talking about that number is because that was just what's allowed by law.
Right.
And that's what we had discussed at the
Mhm.
last time. And so that's the reason that number is being thrown out there. And so,
Could we visit with him and ask him if he would agree to a 25-year
yes,
with an option to renew?
I can do that.
And in the lease, he can sublet those other 3 hangars
That's
Correct.
correct, yes.
I need a motion to table it.
I got one more question,
No, okay,
if I may.
yes.
We didn't say anything in here about the property insurance, about who covers that. We got liability, but is that understood that the city will cover the building or?
Check into us.
Yeah, I know that,
It was not to insure the world when historical society.
Yeah.
Because they were renting it to newspaper at the time. Because of the rental agreement, we could, so it's something that.
I believe that the last discussion that we had with them was, I think we did say that they would provide the property insurance as well. But Don's right, we do need to check into that
Yeah,
too.
that might need to modify that for this too, so
Okay,
I'll make a motion to table the discussion on the airport hangar lease until the next meeting, December 8th.
Second,
Been moved and seconded to table discussion on the airport hangar lease till December 8th. Any further discussion? Not done.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to new business, the aquatic park dedication.
yeah, so it was brought to my attention, and this is one of these things that comes up once in a while that I feel like we actually have a good opportunity. We can do something that's, nice for the community. I don't know. Most of you have been in town for a long time, but Susie McElroy was a longtime manager at the aquatic park. I know from the old pool to the new pool, she was a manager during that time period. I remember her being, she was a fixture at the pool. I mean, like I said, I think I said this once in one of my emails, when a lot of people in this town, when they think of the Hiawatha Aquatic Park, they think of Susie McElroy. I still think of it that way. And so it was brought up as an idea to me to dedicate the Hiawatha Aquatic Park to Susie McElroy. Right now, the only thing that we have there, I believe, is a dedication of a tree. But I think that dedicating the entire aquatic facility to Susie McElroy, renaming it the Susie McElroy Aquatic Park, getting signage up there, I believe, I don't know what you talk about that, but I believe that we've been in contact with the family. I know they're on board with this. I just think it's something that nice that we can do for the community. It's something that we can something nice that we can do for her memory. And I just think that this would be a really good thing for the community. I don't know if it had any comments.
I think it sounds wonderful.
Would you like to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to approve the dedication of the Hiawatha Aquatic Park to be renamed the Susie McElroy Aquatic Park.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the dedication of the HAP to be renamed the Susie McElroy Aquatic Park. Any further discussion?
All favor? Aye. Opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Thank you for that, Brad. That'll be a good thing to do. Item 4, 2025 budget amendment hearing date.
Yeah, so earlier this year, we discussed the need for a few budget amendments. And this is going to be for the bonding interest. We paid off two bonds early this year to accommodate the payment that went to the water meter project. And so we need to have a amendment to that budget. We also need to have an amendment to water budget. If you remember, we had a well pump that went bad on us, and also we had a large bill for salt this year. And so that's going to cause the water budget to be over budget for 2025. And so what this requires, it's very much like the budget process, except for that the amendments are really pretty easy to get done. It doesn't take me a lot of time. I just need to get the final numbers. Really, it's the same requirements that we have to advertise in the paper at least 10 days before the hearing date. And so we want to set that hearing date for December 22nd, 2025. I will make sure that I'm updating the commission when I get those final numbers. We just want to set this far enough in advance that, we have plenty of time to get that advertised in the paper to meet those requirements. And so really that's what this is about. I'm open to any questions.
I'll make a motion to set the hearing date for the 2025 amended budget for December 22nd, 2025 at 5:35 PM at City Hall.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to set the hearing date for the 2025 amended budget for December 22nd, 2025, 5:35 PM. Any further discussion? Not, Dawn?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Communications.
Yeah, so the first communication we have is from the Highland Ministerial Alliance. They're looking for donations for food baskets for the winter. We wanted to get this in front of me in case the city wanted to make a donation to that. I was wanted to bring that to your attention. Open any discussion about this here.
I can't remember if this is something we typically have done.
Not,
It's new.
I think this is new. This is not something that I've seen in the past.
Do we typically donate to any other funds?
And normally this is on a case by case basis. I know that there's oftentimes that, people will come, we just got this letter, on this case. And I just thought it'd be good to bring to the commission's attention.
Do we have any opinions here?
You have literature on this and no?
I have something, I just have the letter in the, that we got in the packet itself. That's all we have.
I wouldn't mind seeing us donate, even just a little bit, but I don't know if that opens up the door to other things we need to be worried about. I don't know.
Just says any donation, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think the city should do it, but I mean, I would be more than happy to donate to it or the commission or something. Just don't. We don't do it to anything else. I think that gets,
That was my only concern.
I agree with that, but I mean, I would be happy to donate.
Okay, and it's also good just to get this out there, this for public information. It is good to get this out there. That way everybody knows that this exists.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful program. The Ministerial Alliance, it's used in many different ways. I love the fact that they're doing that, but I'd have to agree with Brian that I don't think it's something the city should be donating to. I can personally donate and I probably will. There's so many different funds and things that I'm afraid if we did this, we'd be opening the door for a lot more requests for donations to different programs.
Yep, that was my concern as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Yes, next we have, it's just a memo from Dugan Shoemaker about Paige helping with the DARE program. It's one of those positive things that, comes up once in a while. And so she's able to kind of pick up when she's needed to pick up with that DARE program. She's able to step in, just kind of a positive note from Dugan. You know, our police making a positive impact in the community, always a good thing to hear.
Absolutely.
And we have the day at the Capitol. And so that is on January 21st. And so what that normally is you go to, you register, they go through the policy landscape, you connect with your legislators, you have a lunch, and then there's they kind of go over regulations and things like that as well. If anybody's interested, just let me know and we can sign you up for that. So that is all in the communications,
How much time do you need for executive session?
10 minutes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that the city commission recess in the executive session in the conference room for 10 minutes to discuss land located within the city. Justification for closing the meeting for the preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property. The open meeting will resume at 6:21 PM in the commission chambers and to include the city administrator and the commission. So,
Second.
the movement is second, any further discussion? If not, Don?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Okay. I'd like to make a motion that at 6:28, the city commission is called back into open meeting. The commission took no binding action during executive session.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Not done.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion passed 5-0. Moving on to governing body comments, all I have to say is happy Thanksgiving to everybody since it's that week for it. And happy Thanksgiving to all the city employees. They're pretty awesome people. We couldn't manage without, so. Dave?
I think it's been brought up in recent meetings that all the progress that's been going on out at the new softball field. I'm just gonna say, didn't have a chance to attend their last fundraiser. I'm sure they can still use money because they're getting a lot done out there, so you can always donate to them outside of those fundraisers, and you got to swing by and take a look. They're making good progress. It's starting to look like a ball field, so.
Yep. Tom?
Yeah, I'd like to ask about, have we done anything about, derelict cars that are parked, not moving?
And so the derelict vehicles that we have, and so what we have on, I know that I've talked to our code enforcement officers about the ones that aren't moving. And so some of the problems that we've had with some of these derelict vehicles is that the current code that we do have does not require them to move. It just requires them to be tagged and insured. And so as long as, or just tagged, I mean, as long as there's a registration on it, it doesn't allow us to really do anything with that vehicle as long as it's movable. And so if that's something that we need to change in the code, that's something that we need to bring up and just change that ordinance.
We need to change that ordinance.
Mhm.
It needs to be registered, insured, and operable.
Inoperable, yes. So I think there's a provision, I mean, I've heard of these things in the past, that communities do have something in place that if vehicles do not move, then that's something that for so many days, then citations can be written. I mean, that is something that other communities do have in place. And so if we wanted to add a provision like that, but that is something that would have to be an ordinance change.
I think it'd be worth it.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That's all I got.
Brian?
I had somebody ask if we would possibly be interested in maybe getting like some military surplus, like a holster or something, you know, like a cannon or something to go at either a ball field. I mean, this is just the very beginning of it, like just some kind of some type of cool surplus item that we could maybe put at a ball field or anywhere. I thought it sounded really cool, just kind of they
Like those tanks that they have going in full city.
yeah,
Like that
I
big.
don't think stuff like that's access, but he said helicopters are pretty hard to get that, so, which I think would be cool. But he said that getting one of those cannons is kind of like paying tribute to the veterans that we've had here because that's what they've had, that's what they used. So I thought if we could get something like that, I thought it'd be really cool. But it's all at the very beginning, and if you know, if the commission kind of thought it'd be a good idea, then I think it'd be cool to see what they can do.
Be nice to have something placed at the armory
Yeah, I
in
mean,
front.
it's all very open,
Mhm.
but I don't know, just getting a hold of that, something like that would take some time, but I think it'd be cool if we get something to find a home for that.
Absolutely. I think it's a neat idea.
I think it's cool.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Like a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moving second, Don?
All in favor?
All right.